What's up, YouTube? The Zen Trekker here. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things today. The first being an interesting day I had last week, and then also going to address a question from a subscriber. So anyway, to get right to it, so last week I was minding my own business, driving along, and poof, I lost my brakes. That's right. Every trucker's nightmare. I lost my freaking brakes. So I happened to be on a side road, doing about, I don't know, like between 35 and 40 miles an hour. I just left a customer. It's like a 2-lane road in each direction with like a center lane between yellows. And I'm driving along, and all of a sudden I hear pop. Psh. I look at my primary brake gauge, like my primary air gauge. It's pinned at 0. The secondary still had, like full air, like whatever it was. And I hit the brake pedal down to the floor. My two supply lines, the yellow and the red inside the truck, did not pop. So as most of you know, what's supposed to happen is if you lose your brakes for whatever reason or something happens, those air supply switches are supposed to pop, but they didn't. And I think I generally know why, because when I figured out what happened, it kind of explains it. So yeah, that woke me up. Luckily I wasn't going that fast. There weren't any cars around. I wasn't going downhill. I was empty. There's a lot of good luck going in my favor here. I pulled the trailer supply on my own, the red switch I pulled, and I kind of came to a stop like in the center lane, like in between the yellows. So yeah, it was scary as hell. And but luckily I managed to get off to the side. No harm, no foul. So anyway, so I get out of the truck and I go to check out what happened. It turns out that my brake line coming out of the air compressor, it kind of comes out of the air compressor and runs under the tractor, like along the frame, like the bottom frame underneath the tractor. And it's basically two lines, like one line coming out of the air compressor connects to the other line that feeds the system. And they're connected by these brass couplings. And so when I went back there to like see what happened, first I checked my connections, they were all connected. And then I went and I checked the brake line, and sure enough, that whole brake line had come apart, and was just like hanging in the wind. So I ended up having to sit there and wait 4 hours to get towed, and then towed back to our San Bernardino terminal, and the mechanics there fixed me all up. I had to wait like 2.5 hours just because it took some time to fix it up, and there were a couple of trucks ahead of me, but lost pretty much the whole day. I did like one load that morning and then lost the whole rest of the day. Now we do get paid mechanical breakdown pay, so I ended up making some money that day. Like basically I made like a day's pay for like a crappy day. I think it was like $220 or something, but like I spent the whole friggin' day like just sitting in my truck waiting, or sitting in the lounge at San Bernardino waiting for the mechanics. But anyway, yeah, I was pretty messed up, and I guess the moral of the story is expect the unexpected. So yeah, as a truck driver, like I'm always like pre-planning what I'm going to do if. It's kind of like, people ask me what I do for a living a lot of times, and I have two like standard answers. One answer is I basically spend the day avoiding stupid people that do stupid shit on the road. So when you're driving, you're always anticipating the stupid crap that people will do. So if you anticipate and then they do it, you're ready for it. So this is just one more thing that, is going to be like in my head all the time, like just anticipating, all right, what if I do if I lose my brakes? What if I do, if I'm going downhill and lose my brakes, knowing where those runaway ramps are and stuff. So it's important, to always anticipate and make sure you have a plan. And like I said, expect the unexpected. So the other thing I was going to address today is I had a subscriber that asked me to address public perception of truck drivers. So what I'm going to say, and I don't mean to like be insulting to this subscriber at all, it's a legitimate topic to address. But what I will say is I am not the right guy really to address this topic in an intelligent way, because I don't give a crap what public perception of truck drivers is. If you watch, all my other videos, like especially the starting videos, like I didn't get into trucking, for anyone else's agenda. I got into trucking to just find some like peace and harmony in my life. And so everything that I've done to like follow my path to trucking, has been consistent with that goal of like just finding peace and harmony, like personally, in terms of having a job where I don't have to worry about other people. If I want to work hard, I'll make more money. If I'm feeling tired, I can go home and I won't make that much money that day. Working at a company that, kind of fits, my personal motivations and goals in terms of, they leave me alone. I do the job, I'm responsible, I get from point A to point B safe, and, they let me do my job. And as long as I'm running, like there are days where I don't even talk to the office. I just look at my computer, at my onboard computer, and just follow directions. They send me loads, I do loads. When I'm ready to go home, I send a message that I'm done for the day and I go home. So, my whole thing about being a truck driver is just having, a low stress job that I like, working for a company with people, that are easygoing and, respect the fact that, I'm safe, responsible, and reliable, and let me do my job. And so that's a thing. I'm happy, man. Like, I'm super happy doing this job. I feel at peace, and I go home every day, and I'm just happy, and I'm making money, paying my bills, taking care of my family, like all that stuff obviously is like a minimum requirement, for any job. But at the end of the day, like I'm on my own all day. I have very little interaction with people other than like shipping clerks and receiving clerks when I go to, warehouses. I interact with, my fleet manager once in a while if I have a question or if there's a problem I need to, let her know about. But other than that, like I'm on my own all day long. I'm like super chill in the truck. I'm never in a hurry. I'm always being safe. Like even on the road when people are doing like stupid crap, it doesn't bother me because I'm always like anticipating it, taking things easy. People like cutting you off at merges and all, like I don't care. I leave a lot of space. Anybody that wants to go in front of me, they go in front of me. I limit all of that stress, that people bring on themselves. And so to get back to this whole public perception issue, I don't even think about public perception. I don't care what people think about truck drivers. I don't care what the public, I get it. They take truck drivers for granted. People just take for granted that, their food and all of the products that they need are going to be on the shelves in the stores when they go, and they don't think twice about truck drivers when they're driving on the road. A lot of people are rude, and I get it, but I just don't care. I don't care. So what I would say is, you need to know what your goals and motivations are for being a truck driver. And if, your goal is acknowledgement from the public, you're in the wrong line of work. And, you just got to do this for yourself, and know what your objective is. Is it to make money? Is it to, like me, find peace and harmony in life? Is it just to do something that you enjoy? Like, whatever your goal is, like, focus on that. You can't control the public. You can't control people you don't know. So what's the point of worrying about it? So anyway, that's my take on the whole public perception thing. And with that, I guess we're done. If anybody else has topics that you want me to cover, I will do my best to cover any topics that people recommend I cover. Any questions, shoot them out to me. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Peace.